Good evening, you're watching the Friday edition of To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. It's kind of a deja vu, but yet another tragic incident coming in from the valley from Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir Police Constable Javed Ahmed Dar abducted, murdered in cold blood by terrorists. All along, the government is exercising what they say a muscular policy, aggression, sending the NSG there, bringing back Asya Andrabi, the NIA back to the national capital. But what's on ground? Status quo. Governor, no governor, alliance, no alliance, muscular policy, no muscular policy. The terror trap keeps running. Things quite the same, what they always have been in the valley. Take a look.
Jammu and Kashmir Police Constable Javed Ahmed Dar, kidnapped by Hizbul Mujahideen terrorists and brutally murdered. Dar was abducted Thursday evening by at least 3 terrorists in a santro from near a medical shop in Shopian, South Kashmir. Dar was on his way home after completing duty. A massive search operation was launched immediately after. His body was found in Kulgam on Friday morning.
ड्यूटी में थी, ड्यूटी से होके आए, फिर रात को तकरीबन 8:30 बजे, उसी 8:30 बजे उन्होंने उठाया, तो सुबह हमने उसकी लाश उठाई। 4 बंदे थे, एक सेंट्रो गाड़ी में आए थे।
This is the brutality of Pakistan, ISI, Pakistani terrorist outfits and their sympathizers in Jammu and Kashmir. That a brave soldier of Jammu and Kashmir police, a son of soil from Kashmir Valley, Javed Ahmed Dar, was assassinated. There was a conspiracy. This is a cowardice act of Pakistani terrorists.
The state police, which has borne the brunt of terror attacks in recent years, has gave a fitting farewell to the brave young officer. After the central government toughened its stand and the army launched its Operation All Out to neutralize the top guard of the terror outfits, terrorists have been targeting security personnel. Recently, terrorists had kidnapped Army Jawan Aurangzeb Khan while he was on his way home to celebrate Eid. Young army officer Lieutenant Umar Fayaz too was kidnapped from a wedding when he was unarmed, and the terrorists had murdered him in captivity. The murder of Javed Ahmed Dar has sparked a political war of words.
हम आतंकवाद से मुक्त कश्मीर को कराएंगे, इसी सरकार में होगी, और रक्षा तंत्र हमारा इतना मजबूत है कि हम एक-एक चुन-चुन के बदला लेंगे.
This situation has really touched another point, and it will take a lot of effort and a multi-pronged strategy to comprehensively address the issue.
Abductions, horrifying murders, even our saviors in the valley don't seem to be safe anymore. How long will brave hearts continue to sacrifice their lives? With Sunil Bhatt in Jammu, Bureau Report, India Today.
Have you ever quite wondered the sound bites, the reactions of politicians never quite changes? You just saw a few out there. Even though there is now governor's rule, and with the end of its alliance with PDP, the BJP heralded a new muscular policy chapter, Operation All Out. Not much has changed with the murder of another cop like we just showed you, or in terms of cold figures where terror incidents in the valley are concerned. However, keeping with its new, once again to reiterate, muscular stand, the National Investigation Agency today took custody of separatist and chief of the banned terrorist organization Dukhtarane Millat, Asya Andrabi. She and 2 other associates of hers were brought to Delhi from a prison in Srinagar where she was already lodged.
Asya Andrabi is a murderous lady who is involved in killing of the innocent people, and usually you could find her in stoking the anti-India propaganda in Kashmir Valley. Now when there is a single line administration in Jammu and Kashmir, and now we have no political compulsions, there is a single line administration, and that's why all anti-nationals are being taken to task by our forces as per rule of law. One who raises the voice against country, she will not be spared.
So other than the chest beating and the rhetoric that you just heard, what has changed on the ground? Now there might be a single line government there, no political compulsion. Has anything changed on the ground? Well, the government making new aggressive muscular stand visible, that's our question number one. Has it had any impact on the ground? That's what we would be debating. The second question today, another cop killed, this time under governor's rule. Governor's rule, no governor's rule, operation all out, no operation all out, status quo in the valley. I want to immediately, before we go across to our political panel this evening, I'd like to connect to our consulting editor, Shiv Arur, who will break it down for us. You know, Shiv, that's what we were talking about earlier as well. This entire chest beating rhetoric, the sound bites never quite changes, and neither does what is right now in the valley. What it was before, it still remains.
You know, Preeti, there's bad news and there's good news. I'll give you the bad news first. The bad news is things are really actually pretty bad in the Kashmir Valley. They've gotten steadily worse over the last 18 months or so, and nothing has really worked. We've got to call a spade when it comes to national security. From the line of control to the insurgency within the Kashmir Valley, things have gotten steadily worse. The incidents you referred to are always part of them. Now, the good news and the other part of the bad news is that there's a lot of optics on the part of the government, from the NSG being deployed in Jammu and Kashmir, to what's happening now. There is an urge to put political optics in its place, for public consumption. The good news, however, is after the collapse of the government in J&K, there appears to be a renewed vigor running parallel to the political compulsions of optics, Preeti, to actually make some kind of a change. Whether it's the army, whether it's the political leadership, the governor's rule in J&K, there appears, at least the sense that I'm getting is there appears to be a renewed vigor to bring clarity to the unified command and create some kind of change. It's an election year. Everybody's watching. This matters a great deal. It's an emotive issue. So there is renewed vigor, but that's the good news. The bad news, like I said, was that things are definitely bad and they need to be recognized.
Appreciate you joining us, Shiv. Thank you there. Let's quickly cut across to our panel now. Narendra Taneja from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Gaurav Vallabh is in the studio with me from the Congress, and Shabnam Lone, lawyer and activist, joins us from the valley, from Srinagar. Narendra Taneja, want to come to you first. Yes, ASEAN Rabi has been bought by the NIA to the national capital. Yes, you've sent NSG there. Yes, there is this renewed sense of rigor when it comes down to Kashmir and to try and make a difference. What is on ground? You have another cop who is killed today. Constable Dar murdered in cold blood. Nothing quite has changed.
I think when it comes, this Kashmir issue has been going on practically since independence. We all know that. And you called it muscular policy. I don't understand what you mean by muscular policy. We have a policy. Muscular, we don't know. It's your own description, your own definition. Look, when it comes to situation like that, we cannot really go for a daily judgment or episode-based judgment and judge it on every daily basis. That's not how it works. Here we are fighting with an enemy, with a nuclear power enemy across the border and behind the whole thing. So we got to understand it's a long drawn thing which has been going on for decades, and we are the government is working very hard on it, and there is, if you look at carefully, there is substantial progress in terms of the situation being controlled. There is limited to 5-6 districts, but even in those districts, you look at it, and if you go on the ground, there is a huge improvement. And as I said, look, here you are fighting with a country which has got only single-minded agenda, that is to disrupt Kashmir, to destabilize India. So in such a situation where you have this country which is not really fighting a war in front of us, but is a kind of fighting a war where they're using terrorism as a major tool, funding them and funding people, ideologically disrupting people, exporting their own Stone Age ideology and things like that. So it's a war which is extremely complex. But at the same time, we have got our own people in Kashmir. We have to look after them. We have to make sure in the process they don't get injured, they don't get hurt. We also have to deal with them politically. So it's an extremely complex thing. Okay. But when you look at it, this thing is good. As I said, if you really go for taking judgment on episode basis, daily basis, you will reach to the wrong conclusion. That's not the right way to look at this situation.
All right, Mr.
as
Taneja,
far as my view is concerned.
All right, let me bring in our other guest. But you asked me that the muscular policy, at least the word there, is something which has been positioned there by the media, not quite so. Must remember that press conference by Mr. Ram Madhav, he actually used the term. But what I will do is, I'll go across to Gaurav Vallabh, who's in the studio with me, and we have Shabnam Lone. Gaurav Vallabh, why does the Congress think that, and also it's a little rich coming in from the Congress as well, that the policy followed by the government is flawed where Kashmir comes into question?
See, I'm just asking a contrary question, that why terrorists got such a courage? How come they are doing all those things after President rule, all muscular policies? See, there are 2-3 reasons. After 3.5 years of misgovernance by the BJP government, what happened, that they had seen ISIs had entered into the Pathankot airbase. What happened?
There hasn't been any incident since the Pathankot airbase.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that.
Terror, yes, but not an incident.
No, I'm coming. But like first time in the history, the ISIs entered into the
post that, and there were surgical strikes.
No, let me complete. Then what happened to Burhan Wani? How government had compensated the same BJP government? What happened to the Asian Rabi? She was the brand ambassador of Beti Bachao. What happened to Masrat Alam? They had released that person.
And arrested him 2 days later.
And then what happened to Shujat Bukhari? He was killed in the middle of the Srinagar. So what happened, that in 3.5 years there is a serious dent on 3 things. Economic activities are at their lowest. Employment level in Jammu and Kashmir Valley is at the lowest. And tourism sector, which is the most prominent sector of the state, is at the lowest. So what is happening, that terrorists are taking the advantage of all this misgovernance, and they are repeating all kind of activities. And what BJP government is doing, in contrary to this, armed forces are working, there is no doubt about that. But government, what BJP government is doing, they are putting their entire focus that how to get some MLAs from PDP, how to get some MLAs from National Conference.
To debate, so that's a different story for another day on what the BJP is possibly trying to do, maybe fracture the PDP, but that's a different debate.
All these issues are having implications in the valley.
Let me bring in
so when you go to the PDP MLA just to break their parties, there is a message in the valley of
can I bring in Shabnam Lone? Shabnam Lone, so much been done at one level. You've seen, of course, an ASEAN Rabi been bought by the NIA today, great optics. You have the NSG push, great optics. You want to take over a more aggressive approach, Operation All Out, great optics. But what do you think is happening on the ground? You had Constable Dar, once again, like many of his ilk, murdered cold-blooded.
Preeti, let me say, I'm in the valley this time, and I've been talking to a number of people. What is Jammu and Kashmir for the common Kashmiri this time? Kashmir remains a prism of pain, blood, tears, lot of complexity, and many unanswered questions. Kashmir essentially remains an untold story as far as the Kashmiri is concerned, and of course fatigued by decades and decades of summers of grave discontent. Fine, this government is off. Mehbooba should have gone long time back. Fine, that chapter is over now. But let us come down to this tactic. What happened today? Dar was killed. Then earlier you see Lieutenant Umar Fayaz was killed. Brave Aurangzeb was killed. That chilling video is a reminder for all of us. He was a brave soldier. Look how he defied those people who killed him. And everyone in the valley was saddened by that video. But let's come down to another issue. What is happening? Where is the government? Where are the instructions? Why are these people repeatedly getting killed? What is the government doing? Why did Dar get killed after Aurangzeb? Isn't there any instruction? Are they all busy politicking?
Away from the prose and the poetry, that of course
rightly
away from the prose and the poetry, that of course is,
what are they doing?
Can be linked to Kashmir today. Everybody knows it's a highly complex issue. Now the government possibly is trying to make an effort, but Narendra Taneja, it seems to be failing.
Well, that's not really. I heard my, a friend from the Congress party also talk about Pathankot. He's conveniently forgetting Pakistan, ISI, through their agent, they attacked at the very heart of commercial India when they attacked all these hotels and other commercial, very heart of economic India. That happened during Congress time. We got to understand one thing. You're dealing with an enemy. Here is the enemy which has declared a war against India without coming in the front. So if you really want to pick up one or two episodes and say the government is not functioning or the government is weak, that's not the way to look at it. Kashmir is a national issue. It's not BJP Congress issue. But we got to understand. And as far as, Shabnam Lonji is concerned, I can understand. She is talking it's an emotional thing to say. But the point is, why are they listening to Pakistan? Pakistan is an enemy. They are there to destabilize India. They are here to destabilize the whole thing. They are there to attack the very idea of India. That's what they are doing.
Yes. And you can take this aggressive approach.
He is right. Narendra Taneja is right about Pakistan.
There is renewed rigor.
What is the Pakistan policy? Where is the Kashmir policy?
That's what.
No. Let me come in. Narendra Taneja Sahab, you said the right thing about Pakistan. But I'm telling you as a Kashmiri, go hit them hard as much as you can hit. Where is the Pakistan policy? Where is the Kashmir policy?
Narendra Taneja, that's a plausible question asked. There seems to be a number of flip-flops, Narendra Taneja.
The question, yeah, okay. You see the point. No, our Kashmir. No. It's not it's not. We are consistent on our policy. When you execute a policy,
one arm of the government says something else. You had Mr. Rajnath Singh saying something else. You have Mr. Ram Madhav saying something else. You have the Prime Minister doing something else. And we can go into various incidents, Mr. Taneja. But yes, quickly make your point.
That is not the case. You are No. You are talking of different executive agencies, different executive offices. When it comes to execution depends on the person and the situation on the ground that particular hour. That's why it may look like that to you. But the point is, government as a whole has one policy and very consistent results are there for everybody to see. Please ask people in Pakistan what they think about the efforts in vis-a-vis Kashmir and involving Pakistan. They're not able to even breathe properly these days. The entire world knows it. What has happened to Pakistan.
Now the point is, that might be a little misconstrued because the kind of incidents that the valley is seeing, it's never been hotter in terms of terrorism, in terms of murder and death of our own men in uniform. It's never been worse. So the argument that you give that things have improved are not quite right. Gaurav wants to come. Quick comment.
I am asking Mr. Taneja that on what front, whether it is the civilian's death or whether it's a law and order or whether it's ceasefire violation, whether it's on any economic indicator, where we got improved. And as my friend from Kashmir Valley, she was asking, there is no policy. Earlier we used to debate on Kashmir policy. Now this is the first government, there is no policy. There is a flip-flop policy. There is a biryani policy, there is a sari policy, there is a shawl policy, but there is no policy as such.
All right,
we want, and just one sentence, we want that why don't the Indian Army and Government of India should give a very active response to the Pakistan and militants. We want all militants should be killed, but they don't understand what is the policy.
Shabnam Lone, now that the government has decided to take an aggressive stand where terrorism in the valley is concerned, now there are no political compulsions, as they say. Why not give them the opportunity and the time? Give them the time to possibly exercise this new policy and then maybe comment?
Preeti, I agree with you. But the question is, if Pakistan is the mothership of all problems, now let's come down to one brass tack. All these boys, they're saying that they have picked up the gun. From where has the gun come, Preeti? The gun comes from Pakistan. From where does the money come? It comes from Pakistan. As the government says, as every government spokesperson will tell you, as every BJP spokesperson will tell you, then why not to have a policy which concentrates wholesale on the fact that either we have to go for dialogue or go and hit them as hard as you can. You hit the mothership. You hit it.
So no
then only we will have some peace restored in the valley. Because now you will again say it's prose and poetry. No, this is, you will again say this is prose and poetry, but I love these weave of words. Chanakya says that one desirous of flowers does not water a dry tree. Same is the case here. You have
Okay.
a policy which will give you results.
Okay, I need to
Yes,
close the
I
bulletin.
agree. We need to give some time. There's the governor's rule. But let's see
Okay.
what happens within the next 2-3
All
months.
right, I need to close the... I'm sorry, Mr. Taneja, we've run out of time. I need to close the
You have to
bulletin.
give me a chance, please.
All right, your 10 seconds.
me.
Make your point.
No, but you didn't allow me to answer the questions. All I'm saying is that what Shabniji is saying is that all boys have, picked up the arm. That's factually incorrect. That's not the case.
Okay.
Some people, instigated by Pakistan and those agents of Pakistan in Kashmir, some boys have done that, not all boys.
Okay.
That's not correct. Majority of boys there, young boys, young girls, they want mainstreaming, they want jobs, they want
Okay, I'm gonna-
economic
okay, this is gonna get into
prosperity.
another-
Only some people have done that. Very
It's
small
hard
section
to
of
the
the
All right, I
No,
am
that's
going
not
to...
correct.
Okay,
You are
we don't have
factually
the
incorrect
time. We don't
about
have the
that.
time to
excuses.
extend
You are
this debate.
in fact...
I need to end this debate. Appreciate our panelists for joining us. And with what seemingly suggests is this is not the last debate that we're going to have on this. There are going to be many more, sadly, unfortunately. A quick break. Up next is In Depth, where we get you maximum live coverage of the first Indian news channel to be in Thailand, where 13 boys are stuck in a cave and running against time where their life is concerned. A quick break. Stay with us.